I am N.S. Venkatraman. I speak on behalf of Nandini Voice for the Deprived, a non-profit organization based in Chennai in India. When a mother delivers a human body, this body has no identity. Then parents, relatives, friends consult each other and discuss the alternate appropriate names and arrive at a suitable name for this human body. And this body is known and identified by this name. This human body will steadily grow just like animals, plants, trees, and other creatures. And after experiencing the pleasures and pains of worldly life alternately for several years, this human body perish one day for the body to be burnt or buried. This body, having a name as its identity, comes into the world and goes away from the world, and the name that is the identity for the body also goes away along with the body. This is the scenario for several thousands of years that have gone by. Now, there are a few questions. Let us look into the questions first. Now, one question that does not seem to still convincingly explain in a way that will appeal to the brain in the human body is as to whether this human body only consists of flesh, bone, and blood with well-structured different design that make different human body behave and think differently at different times. Or alternately, is there anything more to this human body? Is the purpose of the human body in any way different from that of animals or other creatures? These are some of the very important questions that have been raised for several thousands of years. The prevailing view and the so-called logic is that any object needs a creator, just like a pot needs a potter to be created. And by this logic, there should be a creator for the human body as well as other creatures. Then the question arises, is inevitable, or rather the inevitable question arises as to where is this creator? And what is this creator? And who is this creator? And why has this creator created the human body at all? Millions of people for several thousands of years have been asking this question. Now, several answers have been attempted. Let us look into the answers for these questions now. In the last thousands of years, large number of scholars, intellectuals, philosophers, and saints, as well as the out-of-the-box thinkers, have been trying to find an answer to this vexed question, and several explanations have been advanced. With such explanations differ between one and another, leaving millions of people confused. This is the scenario for thousands of years. The labored explanation given is that an individual is not merely a human body, but must be something beyond this. That is an explanation that is given. When further explanation is demanded, the answer given by saints and philosophers, etc., or that the purpose of human existence is beyond the capability of the human brain to understand and appreciate as to why this physical structure of human body is repeatedly happening. Why this human body is being created at all is a question. So the final consensus explanation is, after protracted debate over several thousands of years, seem to be that the creator is an entity beyond the capability of the human brain to understand, and it cannot be explained due to the limited capability of the human brain and the human body. Therefore, the suggestion is, let not anyone make even an attempt to discover the creator. Let everyone simply accept that an entity known as creator is existing. This should be so according to human intelligence, since any object cannot be created without a creator. Therefore, everyone is advised to assume and believe with faith that there is a creator. Then various techniques have been suggested, such as sustained meditation, prolonged prayers to identify the creator. So many mythological stories reflect on the existence of creator with various case studies, narratives, and examples. Now, having given this explanation, let us see what Hindu scriptures say. Hindu scriptures explain it in a very elegant way. To explain the behavior of the human mind, in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira told the Yaksha when Yudhishthira was asked about the greatest wonder in the world, then Yudhishthira said, every day people die, but the rest of the people live as if they are immortal. This is the wonder of the world. That is what Yudhishthira said. This clearly shows that human mind and thought process about the content of the so-called life have not changed at all from time immemorial. That is, people have been thinking on the same lines for centuries. While the uncertainty as to from where the life comes and where it goes continue for thousands of years with conflicting advocacies and theories, Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita lay down certain concepts and guidelines. The fact is, these concepts and guidelines have stood the test of time over several centuries. Vedas proclaim that Supreme Brahma is beyond the human thought, and the scriptures and Vedas simply declare that human spirit is eternal and not the flesh and not the material world. The body decays and dies, and the body rises only to fall, says the Vedas. Upanishads proclaim through the Mahavakyas like Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, which means the state of realizing I am He, that is, I am God. The Panchakshara Upadesa conveys the idea of Shivoham, which means I am Shiva, that is, I am Shiva the God. According to Upanishads, these stages can be reached only through worship of Shiva for a pretty long time with a lot of sincerity and devotion. Now, in spite of all these explanations given by saints and philosophers, in spite of the explanation given by the scriptures, there is still confusion around. All people are not fully satisfied. Scientists now claim that let's look into the confusion by being. Scientists now claim that they have made animals and creatures creatures in the laboratory. That is what we call as cloning. Scientists claim that they can modify the behavior of the laboratory created creatures in a way they want. When you say this, the immediate question that arises is, then what is a God for? If scientists are going to create body and creatures in the laboratory, then what is a God for? Where is the God for? That is the question that is being asked. While the scientists would argue that the human body happens because of the chemical and biological reactions in the womb of the mother, still the scientists cannot explain beyond this phenomenon as to why the reactions take place at all. So the scientists have limitations. Further, there is a lot of confusion due to the discussion and claims about miracles, fate, astrology, rebirth, heaven, hell, and so on, with none of them having any proof, but again, only assumptions and are the result of figments of imagination and belief. Now, in this situation of confusion, non-believers have a field day. They question every idea about the origin and end of life. But these non-believers also do not have anything explained convincingly, but only they focus on criticism and negativism. It is known that in the fag end of life, when death is imminent, several non-believers who have been telling a lifelong that they don't have any faith in philosophy or faith in the scriptures, these non-believers have helplessly become believers. We have seen several of such instances, and such non-believers perhaps die with confused state of mind. Now, here, given this picture, let us see what Bhagavad Gita says. What is the way that Bhagavad Gita shows? Bhagavad Gita proclaims that everyone should be conscious of the Supreme Being in mind, on thought throughout life. Obviously, Bhagavad Gita insists that everyone should accept the Supreme Being readily and unquestionably, and there cannot be any compromise on this, is what Bhagavad Gita says. Now, Bhagavad Gita shows the way for the attitude to life and desirable goal of life. A verse in Bhagavad Gita enunciates the principle of Nishkama Karma. The principle of Nishkama Karma says, you have a right to action, but only to action, never to its fruits. Let not the fruits of your works be your motive. Neither let there be in you any attachment in inactivity. This is what Bhagavad Gita says in Nishkama Karma, which is elegantly said and it can be well explained, and meaning is very, very clear. Such concepts, as enunciated in Vedas and Bhagavad Gita, would facilitate peace in thoughts and lifestyle for human body. Further, the practice of compassion, truthfulness, and attachment, as prescribed in the Vedic scriptures and Bhagavad Gita, would represent the ideal way of life for the human body that comes and inevitably goes. Now, next question is, after having seen all this, having raised the questions, having seen the answers given by the saints, having given the explanation given by the scripts, and having seen what Bhagavad Gita says, now let us realize one fact: there is no other alternate way. Finally, there seems to be no other alternative way of moving on in the world stage with the human body for an individual other than to accept the idea about Supreme Brahma, that is God, even though that may be unacceptable to human brain due to what the human brain would call as lack of logic. For thousands of years in the past, no one has explained the process of life any better way than what it has been done so far in Hindu scriptures and what is unlikely to be done in future. Nothing is going to happen in future, nothing is going to be said in the future beyond whatever the Hindu scriptures have said, because it has not happened in thousands of years. Considering thousands of years of experience generations of human beings have gained, it is obvious that the best way of living is to believe in God, have faith in God, and lead a truly honest life full of compassion and with absence of hate, as per the dictates of one's conscience. Of course, we can term this conscience as the voice of Supreme Brahma, the God. Let not anyone question anymore, but let everyone surrender to God, as there is no other path known or available to human beings and the so-called human bodies. It will be peaceful for a person to breathe his last as a believer in God rather than as a non-believer, whatever may be the further direction of the way out for the human body. Thank you very much.